Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. We are not splitting wood today. Actually, yes we are. We've split a bunch of wood today. But today is a walk and talk. So I'm gonna take y'all out here in the woods. We're gonna have this little chat. And before I get into it, y'all, as always, I'm losing my train of thought. As always, hit the like and subscribe for us if you don't mind. And if you have, guys, we do appreciate you. So y'all, I'm gonna do a little bit something different today. I'm gonna tell you a story. And it's a true story. And it's about a fella that I used to know. And he will not mind me sharing this story because I know him that well. Years ago, he found himself in really a bad place in life. He had been married for several years, had a child, and found himself, like many people that have gone through trials in life, succumbing to some of those trials and finding himself alone. Like many people, he had made a lot of mistakes, and fortunately, through divine intervention, really, he was able to end up not being alone, but raising his child. And through many trials and tribulations, and quite some time, and the help of family, raising that youngin', he finally met a godly woman. But before I get that far, I kind of need to back up a little bit. This fellow was wandering. He had wandered away from God. And he knew better because he had been raised different. So he knew better, but still yet he was in a state of wandering. Until one morning, he found himself at an altar, on his knees at an altar to pray in a church, little country church. And man, I'm looking, I got a couple of blowdowns over here. Old geezer in the woods would love that. Need to get down here and saw them up. But anyways, train of thought, Matthew. He found himself at an altar, on his knees, begging God to forgive him for the wandering in his life and asking him to take it all away. And basically what he told me was that he felt the biggest hand he had ever felt on his back while he was there on his knees, just pouring his heart out to God, asking for forgiveness. And when he was done taking care of business at the altar there, he turned because whoever it was that had a massive hand on his back, and this is a grown man, so to feel a large, the way he put it, it was bigger than any hand that he knew of. He turned to give whoever that was a hug, thanking them for being there and consoling him while he was at the altar. But as soon as he turned, there was no one there. There was no one there. And what he told me was that in that moment, he knew in his heart that it was Christ himself with his hand on his back, comforting him, welcoming that prodigal son back home. Well, some time went by for this fella, and through really just divine intervention, he ended up being able to raise his only child. And that was a struggle in itself because he was working some crazy hours. His mother, I believe, and other family were helping when he was having to work these crazy hours and all kinds of overtime just to make ends meet, because just because he was raising her didn't mean he had any real financial help other than what he could provide. And So he was working like crazy just to make ends meet, and he was glad to do it. He was just glad to have his child with him. And lo and behold, as time went on, he met a woman that he already knew, but as Providence would have it, the two of them came together, and long story short, they ended up getting married. And this godly woman that came to marry him really just took to the child and raised that child just like it was her own youngin', and really just made a lasting impact on that child and on the husband. The husband is the man, just is all the time saying how much he appreciates that woman of his. And that fella's story didn't end right there. He faced many other kinds of adversity and trials as time went on. Down here looking at this creek, y'all, it's flowing so good. It's just beautiful green today. And y'all, I get sidetracked from time to time when I'm out here enjoying God's creation. But his adversity did not end there. As time went on, he worked hard, y'all. He worked hard, kept his nose clean, as I like to say, and fought tooth and nail to make a better life for he, his child, his wife. His wife had actually left a very well, stable, good paying profession in order to help him raise that child because of his crazy work schedule, and ended up doing a home-based business and got really good with that. But as time went on, y'all, he fought tooth and nail to work hard, kind of climbed the ladder at the job that he was doing, and even was passed up a time or two for promotions. But through God's grace and hard work, he finally was able to climb that ladder and provide for his family even more, until really a life-altering time came in his life and he had to leave that profession. But what made me think, I'm gonna walk back down to that creek, y'all, because it is just so serene, and I need a little serenity, and that's one reason I like doing these walking talks, y'all. But what made me think about this fella was, I was bucking firewood yesterday. Lisa, you can call it up in a limb, Lisa had gone over to her mom and dad's to help them with some things, cleaning up they needed some help with, and I was out here bucking firewood and really just working myself as hard as I could, because you know the bills keep coming, and some people on YouTube or you tell you all about debt free, all this, that, and the other. I would love to be debt free, and Lord willing, one day we will be, but until then, y'all, you know, there's some debt and there's bills. That's just part of life. But anyways, getting sidetracked once again. I'm tired, y'all. But I'm out there bucking firewood, and I took a misstep, y'all, and I fell, and I landed. I tried to. The saw went one way, right beside my leg. I had my chaps on. Didn't hit me that I know of. And I tried to catch myself with my right wrist and thought I'd broke it there for a second, but I fell, and my right ribs landed on a round that I had just bucked. I guess I wasn't paying attention, I suppose, and was fatigued, but I laid there, y'all. It rattled my cage, something fierce, and I couldn't get up. I was laying on my back at this point, and I had nothing in me. I could not get up, and Lisa wasn't here, and I didn't have anybody around to help me get up. And so honestly, I laid my head back. The saw's still running right beside my leg. Chain ain't running, but it's right beside my leg. It's running. And my first thought was, I'm just gonna lay here. I'm gonna lay right here. My cage is rattled, y'all. And I tried sitting up and I couldn't. And so I laid my head back and thought, well, what am I gonna do now? And y'all, it's the craziest thing. The thought came into my head, Rocky Balboa. I love those Rocky movies. And I remember him getting knocked down many times, and something to the effect of, he would say in his mind, he's seeing pictures of himself throughout the years, get up and fight. Get up. You got to keep moving forward, that sort of thing. And honest to goodness, that motivated me quite a bit. And so I rolled over on my stomach and was able to push myself up to a knee and eventually get up. It took me a few minutes, y'all. But I got up and took me a little break, and actually I stopped bucking after that because Lisa had told me don't work too hard, and that's why she does, because I just ain't quite as strong as I used to be, stamina-wise, but I still work hard because I gotta provide. And that episode triggered that memory of mine, the story that I told you guys. And y'all, that story, that's about me. That's my life. It's hard to share about your life to a bunch of people that you've never seen face to face. Except for Mark. We have met you, Mark, and thoroughly enjoyed that visit. But it's hard to share about your life. And it's even harder to share sometimes about your experiences with Christ. And I'm one of those people that's in the camp that believes that we are living in the last days. And whether or not my testimony gets suppressed on YouTube, it'll find who it needs to find. So what I am trying to relay to somebody that's going to watch this video today, even if you've been knocked down, even if you have wandered away, you can still come back, get on your knees, repent, beg God to forgive you, and he'll set you back up on firm ground. That's what he's done for me. Doesn't mean it's going to be a cakewalk the rest of your life. Lisa and I work our tails off, y'all. We work hard just to make ends meet and provide the lifestyle that we enjoy, which is this rural homestead living. But y'all, that's just a testimony that I wanted to bring to you today, and I hope that it's an encouragement to someone out there. And hopefully y'all, you get a little something out of it. So that's what I got for you today, guys. Get up and keep working hard. Come back to the Lord if you've left. And if you've never met him, now's the time. Get down on your knees. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. And Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high, guys. We will see you on the next one.